What's going on, guys? Pixelated here, back at it again with another video. Check it out, guys. Look who just came back from the Supreme Louis Vuitton pop-up. Just spent a buttload of money, went in with a bunch of racks, came out with some tings. Who's ready to see what I got, yo? Alright, check it. First order of business right here. Extremely exclusive Canadian pop-up, had like 5 of these. Look at this right here. What? Supreme? Is that you? Oh, would you look at that? That's Supreme right there. Where's the Louis Vuitton at? Oh wait, I got it. Bag number 2. Boom! Supreme Louis Vuitton collab right here. This is the pop-up, baby. Y'all should have went when you had the chance. Super limited collab. Won't get to see it ever again. Once in a lifetime thing. Thankfully, I was able to get something from it. It cost me like $3,000 for a pair of Louis Vuitton Supreme sneakers, but it's so limited. I gotta say it's worth it, man. I feel so good about these right now. Just gonna put these on my feet, spray some sneaker protector on there, use them sneaker sacks. I can't let anything touch these, man. They are so fresh. Worth every penny, man. So sick. I'm gonna get mad biddies in these, fellas. Y'all don't even know what y'all unleashed by releasing this collab, man. I'm gonna kill it in the streets right now. Anyways, all messing around aside, looks like we have something special on our hands this evening. I know we mostly cover sneakers on this channel, but if you're no stranger to streetwear and have been keeping up with the latest streetwear news in the past month or so, you probably know what I'm talking about. Well, if you look at the title of the video, you probably have a good idea on what I'm about to talk about as well, so check it, right? We all know famed streetwear brand, formerly known as a skate brand. It still is by some, but yes, I'm officially calling it as it is and referring to it as a streetwear brand as opposed to a skate brand. Let's be honest, they don't do much skate related stuff anymore anyway, aside from the actual skateboard decks they release. For the most part, they cover pop culture and are known for their high-key big brand collaborations now. Every drop of theirs now features some form of collaboration with a notorious streetwear brand or a more prestigious high fashion brand. The past season, they collaborated with the likes of Lacoste, Undercover, CDG, or Comme des Garçons. The North Face, one of Supreme's favorite brands to collaborate with, in my opinion. Their drops always have tons of eyes on them, not like drawn on, just like people watching, you know, like huge market. Tons of people want North Face and Supreme stuff. Nike, which is another one of their all-time adored collaborators, as you can see right here. If you remember, collaborations with these guys brought us the infamous Supreme Foamposites, shoes that literally shut the streets of New York down outside the store prior to release, so much so that they had to cancel the in-store release altogether and decided to release the sneakers online. They also recently brought us the Nike X Supreme Uptempos that are now famously known as the Suptempos for good reason. These are definitely one of their most notable releases with Nike and will go down in the history books as such. Is there a history book written about streetwear? We should probably look into that. They also end up collaborating with brands that have nothing to do with the apparel at all. For example, they collaborated with the boxing brand Everlast on punching bags and boxing gloves. Even more recently, they partnered with Coleman to sell their very own branded gas-powered bike. This is very unconventional. It would strike you out of the blue if other brands did it, but when Supreme does it, it just seems very natural and okay. Like, it's okay for them to do these things, like that one idiot cousin that always goes out of their way to jump out a treehouse and onto a trampoline just to land face first on the floor, and you look at them and go, yep, that's pretty much what I expected from them. Their prices aren't off the bat crazy, but they're pretty up there when you really consider what you're getting for some of these items. On the one hand, you're easily paying $60 US for standard quality tees with some simple print on them, which is standard for some other brands as well. On the other, for some key items like the punching bag and gas-powered bike, you're paying 1 to 2K retail, which is almost 2 to 3 times what you'd pay if you just got the non-Supreme version of those items. On the other side of the playing field, we have a brand that does not mesh with Supreme's design language at all. They don't follow the same business model, nor are they in the same price market. Louis Vuitton isn't known for their collaborations at all. They're what is known as a high fashion brand, aka luxury brand retailer, aka not in your price range. Don't you worry, I'm not a big fan of theirs either. The way these brands usually work is they'll have key items that are branded with the brand's monogram logo, and many of the items that people will go for will have this monogram design printed all over the piece. These are the kind of brands where if you don't buy the all over monogram print pieces, people probably won't know what you're wearing unless you tell them it's Louis Vuitton. I would hope the quality is on point for the price you're paying though, because you should be comfortable spending a humble 5K every time you visit the store, and the employees are the kind that will look you up and down and profile you as soon as you step foot in the store. Personally, I find most luxury brands a little less creatively driven and more driven by clout, meaning the main reason for people to buy it is to show off the fact that it's a certain brand. Much of their product designs are pretty much 90% copies of existing items already out there. For example, just look at Louis Vuitton's sneaker section and tell me some of them don't look like other popular sneakers out by actual big name sneaker and athletic shoe companies like Nike and Adidas. That's not to shit on them specifically though. Many brands do this, but to know you're spending 1K plus on sneakers and they were derived from an original sneaker that is probably better constructed and is a quarter of the price, there's no real justification for the existence of their sneaker department. Obviously, that's not the case for all their products. Some of their products are actually original, superb quality, and representative of their iconic name. One item of Louis Vuitton's that satisfies that criteria is the Keepall. It looks somewhat like a duffel bag, but with an old-timey look. I've never owned one, so I can't truly speak on its quality, but from images and what I've seen online, I'm going to stake my reputation and say that the quality is definitely up there. Don't shoot the messenger. Shoot the dude who wrote the $1,000 message and hid it in that LVX fragment Keepall. Then again, that's not saying much when most of the popular items are the ones that are basic items with their monogram print laden all over it. A Louis Vuitton belt, for example. I'm not one to hate though. If I was swimming in money, I may or may not be tempted to make a purchase from there for that very reason. I'm not, however, and would rather spend that money more reasonably, like on multiple sneakers that I don't really need. Oh lord, this is a tough argument to make. Anyways, on to the topic at hand. We now have a good idea of the two brands, what they have to offer, how their business model works, and how their strategy to appeal to their audience works. This means that it's about time we started asking questions. And more importantly, we started asking the big question. Well, knowing all this, we also know that these two brands are seemingly polar opposites of each other, have a collaboration that's dropped. I'm not really sure when. Yes, these two brands that are nothing like each other. One is essentially a skate streetwear brand that appeals to the youth with its edgy look and subject matter. The other appeals to the upper echelon of people with immense disposable income. These two brands have decided to collaborate. The collab has been made available to the people, well, the rich people apparently, in unusual ways. How, you may ask? Well, from some sources I've heard that if you spend a certain amount at an LV store, or if you're a frequent shopper or VIP client at Louis Vuitton, they were allowing you to put your orders in for whatever items you wanted. This was one way they offered their products. Another was that there was supposed to be a number of pop-ups in different locations across the states and other countries where the items would be available. International pop-up locations were set to open on June 30th and US locations were set to open on July 14th. This is where things get a little murky. That part of the release procedure seems to have been canceled. All pop-ups were confirmed canceled for the time being at least, which doesn't make sense to me because wasn't June 30th a long time ago for the international locations? Shouldn't that have happened already? Even July 14th has passed, so what's poppin', man? What's going on? I've heard some people actually purchase things through pop-ups, so maybe a couple of them went through. I have no idea what's going on, man. I can't say for sure as I didn't really follow any of the pop-up news on what happened and what didn't, but I did see pictures of some long ass line. And I gotta say, if they were all at canceled pop-ups lined up there for hours and days, that really sucks. Anyways, if anyone knows what's actually going on with the pop-ups and if there were some that already opened and were successful, please help me out. Leave me some info in the comment section below. At least a few VIPs got their items though, right? Which brings us to the question of the hour. That is the Supreme x Louis Vuitton collaboration a fail? Well, it depends on how you're looking at it. If this cancellation is permanent, which I highly doubt it is, and I'm sure they'll find a way to offer the collab products to customers one way or another, I doubt they're gonna shove everything in a storage and never look at it again. But if it is permanent, that is a gigantic failure and an L for Louis Vuitton. Potentially for Supreme too, but they don't have as much to gain from this as LV does in my opinion. Another way to look at it would be, are people really buying this for themselves or to resell? A lot of the people lining up and buying these things is to resell them. The lineups and the pop-ups were all being run by Louis Vuitton, and let's face it, Louis Vuitton regulars aren't the kind to line up to buy what they want to buy. So it could be an L if you look at it from that standpoint. Most of the products are going to the resellers. The resellers are going to sell it, of course. Once the people who can afford them and buy them, the people who wanted the stuff got them, the people who were reselling got the money. But that may not be the image that Louis Vuitton is trying to convey. Another way you can look at it is if we're looking at it purely from a visual standpoint on what's being offered here and if it's any good. Claims have been made that the quality of the BOGO tees and BOGO hoodie are actually a notch worse than what Supreme typically offers, which isn't what you want to hear considering those are probably two of the most sought out items from the collab, and Louis Vuitton is in charge of production as well from what I know, which means that Louis Vuitton doesn't even offer quality that Supreme can offer, which would be a troublesome issue on its own considering their other products are priced like 69 times more than what Supreme charges. Visually, however, I really like the way the BOGO tees and hoodies look. I'm sure many will agree. The other items like the all over monogram print denim jackets, the bright red Keepall with huge Supreme branding and an LV logo, along with the other small bags with similar branding all look good. They're very loud loud but stay true to Supreme's brand image and Louis Vuitton design and quality. I can't be 100% sure on the quality, but like I said, I'm staking my reputation and giving it to them for the bags. The Supreme X LV scarf also looks nice. I think 50 to 60% of the collection was done very well, while the rest of it was pretty much for those who didn't want the loudest and rarest pieces in the collection. Generally, most of these items are a little too tacky for me. That bright red is too loud for me personally, although I wouldn't mind the scarf or the denim jacket. And this is the main reason why I think this collaboration wasn't a fail and was rather a huge success, because I personally have never taken Louis Vuitton or a luxury brand or any luxury brand retailer seriously, nor did I ever consider purchasing anything from them, and I'm sure that stands true for a lot of you out there too. The fact that I consider something like the all-over monogram print denim jacket or Supreme X LV scarf wearable and thought to myself, if I had the money, I might actually buy it. That's the real success of this collab. It's getting the younger generation and people who've been consumed with streetwear brands to take luxury brands a little more seriously and into consideration to actually buying their products. A luxury brand collaborating with a streetwear brand makes their luxury products more accessible to the streetwear market, while also making the streetwear clothing more acceptable to the high-end elite buyers. They're basically bringing street cred to the elites and high-end to the streets. So while the collaboration in itself might have its failures, like the lower quality on the BOGO pieces and the pop-up store cancellations, what LV and Supreme did on a much larger scale is successful for them, as they brought more brand awareness and buyers to both spectrums of the clothing brand world. With that being said, that's the end of my video. If you took anything from it, please hit that like button. I thought this collab was genius, to be honest. I'm curious to know what you guys thought about this collab, and please hit that subscribe button for more juicy content. Catch you later. Picsoleated out. Oh, and this LV belt is fake, so I know you guys are gonna call me out on it. I'm just letting y'all know. I've never really bought anything from Louis Vuitton. I got this as a joke gift from a friend, and yeah, that's all I gotta say. Peace.